live! Insomniac Hour. Dimitri, Josh, and Vince.
Hello.
What's up? How are we all doing tonight? This is Insomniac Hour. This is where we're having a good time just talking. Well, we can't sleep, right?
By White Castle Burgers. That's what we're talking
Can't
about
sleep,
right
won't sleep.
So
If anyone likes late cravings with White Castle and want to make them at home instead of buying them at White Castle,
peanut butter.
just add peanut butter to your mix. That's it. Onions and peanut butter. Ground beef.
Onions, ground beef, and peanut butter. That's right.
Trust me. Swear.
So
Anyway,
we're talking about a lot of different things, kind of pre-show, kind of wondering what we're really going to talk about. We talked about discussing tonight altered states of consciousness, and I like this topic. This is one of my. This is a topic that I'm very familiar with. This is a topic that I've experienced in my life. And so pre-show, I've been kind of like going over a whole bunch of like scientific neuroscience articles and videos pertaining to altered states of consciousness. Now, I always found it interesting whenever you look at the scientific perspective of altered states of consciousness, they're always looking at the physical brain perspective of what is actually happening on a neurological basis.
Yeah.
I like
And
it.
that led them to tie like consciousness to a specific part of the brain,
Right.
and whatnot.
Well, and they still haven't tied consciousness to a specific part of the brain. That's one thing to understand, is that there is no locality of consciousness in the brain. They perceive, they not perceive. They understand that consciousness is a multifunctionality of all parts of the brain. Now, I would disagree with that. I would say that consciousness is something that's external, is non-local to the body, and that it's like the body is like a moist cloth or like a sponge, and it absorbs the conscious energy, the life field.
Yeah, I think maybe a part of the brain works with that consciousness, though, in
Sorry.
a way.
My volume should be better now. I apologize. I forgot
Like-
all about that.
Like, I guess, I forget what the part of the brain's called, but it's like the center portion that connects the front and back. They say if you're brain dead or if you're unconscious, that when that comes back and switches on, you gain your consciousness back. So they attribute
Right.
that part of your brain to making it all work.
But think about an anesthesiologist, right? And how they suppress consciousness during surgery. And how many of those people come out of those surgeries experiencing non-local consciousness. And so we have to ask ourselves is what is happening here? Is what neuroscience is describing as consciousness is simply the physical perceptions of reality. It's the five sensory realm.
Yeah,
I think we need to define consciousness before we proceed to us, like what that means to us. Because
Yeah, agreed.
so like I think that it's a combination of those two. There's like a far out perception of what consciousness is, but in this case, it's the real moment in reality through whatever filters you have, through the vessel, through the soul, through your eyes, and what you're experiencing now. So if I pass out, which is when I was before, I said I'm alive. This is an altered state of consciousness because my eyes are closed, so I can't perceive half of the stuff that I could with my eyes open. So consciousness is like altered states of that, like immediate moment.
Well, so consciousness can be defined as an awareness of the self,
Okay.
right? So ask yourself now, is if consciousness is an awareness of the self, that means that
I think it's awareness of the moment.
No,
like
it's
the
awareness.
moment.
Like the scientific definition is awareness of the self. And so the key there is how are you aware of yourself?
I'm aware that I'm aware.
Well, that's a different story altogether, isn't it? That's what the Buddhist monks and the ancient
Yeah.
sages have looked at. But if I'm a neuroscientist, how do I perceive the awareness of a self? I can
Cause and
touch
effect.
myself,
Yeah, cause and effect.
right? I can
Well, yeah.
experience reality. They all describe it through external sensationalization
and memory.
and memory.
So if you stripped everything down, what would you be? What I wouldn't know, because I would have to do cause and effect. There's still a way to do cause and effect, like to put the pebble on the thing and see if it falls, type of thing, without any senses.
Well, that's
trying,
what I've
like,
always done in my life. Is
Step in the dark.
you recess your sensory perception. So you get rid of sight, you get rid of hearing, you get rid of taste. And I always pose this to any neuroscientist I have ever met. And I say, if I was able to take away sight, taste, smell, touch, hearing, if I was able to get rid of all my senses, what would be left? And it's
all of them enhanced. Like you would be like,
it's an innate, elementary, foundational understanding of awareness. It's the awareness of self. That is
it's
the only thing.
Primate brain. It's the part of the brain, involuntary, just
well,
animalistic.
There's a blind guy. There's a blind guy that could hear buildings when he goes, and he hears he does the.
He's
bat
actually
thing,
utilizing his senses to do that.
Right. So
what I'm
because
trying to
more
say
enhanced,
is get rid of all senses.
You would have a much more enhanced sixth sense. Is what I'm saying.
No. I'm not even trying to get there. What all I'm trying to say is remove external excitation. See, neuroscientists are describing consciousness.
That's what I'm saying, though. Listen to me. Just listen to what I'm saying to you. The guy's blind. He can't see. So his power for seeing goes into his hearing and the rest of his brain. Now remove hearing. Now it goes to smell. And now remove all of them. It's like a huge...
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set a foundation for what neuroscience perceives consciousness as and how we can actually extrapolate out of this and just say that they're fucking wrong right from the get-go. And the way I say that they're wrong is because if I remove all external excitations, I'm no longer dependent upon my senses. Okay? Mm-hmm. Where in my body, in my brain, is this now being perceived?
I would imagine it's behind your eyes, like in the center.
I think it's a combination of probably a little bit of everything, but maybe mostly in that center cortex.
Yeah. Well, I think that. Well, I don't think there's a spot. That's what I'm trying to say. Is the body is not what creates consciousness.
So what size do you think it is? Like, what size is your perception of consciousness, wherever it is? Like, what's this? A basketball? Is it like or is it just like a space in the ether, like taking up?
That's what I'm thinking. If it's your brain's not creating this, then if you had no brain, would there still be a consciousness there?
So that's what I'm trying to say. Is what if consciousness is a field, and the body, the distortion in the field, is like a sponge that resonates with a certain variation of that field, which you call yourself.
You could definitely control it to an extent.
I could vibe with that.
Right? So now, think about this. Is you anesthetize or anesthesiologists the body. So no longer can feel senses and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If you shut down the memory part of the brain, are you going to remember any of the experiences you had? No. Now, how about this? Is if your consciousness was experienced as a field. Let's say your consciousness was experienced as a field. Okay. And let's say that field is multidimensional. Mm-hmm. So you go there and you perceive your higher self. So think about it like this.
You hide the files in the fourth dimension.
I'm outside my computer right now, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say I go into another room and I go do some things and I come back to this computer.
Right.
Does my computer know what I did?
Probably.
Well, probably.
But I know what you mean. Yeah, right. I know what you mean.
Right, but does the computer retain anything within its random access memory?
No, it doesn't.
No. It has no idea what I just did in the other room. And the same thing for the body. If I close the lid on this laptop, that's anesthesia, right? That's turning off all of its senses.
If you close it, you could definitely... But if you're the one that closes it with your mind, you could definitely see what's behind it because you're the mind is the one that closes it.
That's the difference, right?
Someone else knocked you out, then... Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say, is there is a ghost in the machine. And we are on the cusp of understanding that. If I had never had the experiences in my life that I've had, I feel the same way,
like right there. Like I feel like it's right there. Like they're just missing something like so simple, like pour water on this air and then Stargate. You know, like I swear. I know it sounds stupid, but like I feel like we're right there too.
I think that someone said I think Insomniac says I believe your consciousness exists without a body. I believe that your consciousness, right, think about, remember how I was explaining time and consciousness and reality, how it's all just vibrational significance, and at the time that you're conceived, that is a vibration that is ever evolving, and so you have
a specific vibration based on that point in time.
That's
and
right.
Space and based on everything in the universe.
And that's your evolving energy point within this field, right? And so that energy point has to be able to take up a physical body, a distortion, but it only absorbs and can absorb and unabsorb into that physical body. So you can have people that are less conscious, less aware, because their conscious isn't fully absorbed into that physical body.
Oh. Yeah.
So quantum jumping, right?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Before we get deeper, I think sort of when you started talking about defining consciousness and the scientific understanding, I think you were going to this direction, just assuming, but that scientists always attribute it to your senses and they don't consider that it's there without them.
Right.
So when they're talking about it, it's always in that kind of context.
It's called an emergent phenomena. It's an emergent effect. They believe that it's the functionality of all the biochemistry and biological signaling going on within your neurological structures and your brain activity structures that is producing this emergent phenomena. This is all of everything coming together as consciousness. That consciousness is an emergent effect of all the biological functions that are occurring.
Or memory of them. Because if I lost consciousness from 5 to 6 a.m., that means I don't remember 5 to 6 a.m. But I could have been walking around.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wasn't conscious when I did it. I wasn't conscious when I killed an officer. I was someone else. You know what I mean? No, seriously, that's like a thing.
No, I know it is, but you're right. It's conscious. And then how about that? Is that theory that you just said right there? That goes more into say what I'm talking about. Is what if the body is like this physical energetic structure, this distortion in the field that consciousness absorbs into. And what if, when your consciousness recesses, another consciousness can hop in there, steal it for a little while, go do something,
borrow it, totally. That's what I see. Like, so I see it like each of these like little dots are bodies, right? And as a soul, you could jump from body to body, and as a consciousness, you control the original path. So like you're the soul in the thing, and the body in the suit running around, right, going forward. Another consciousness that's more meat suits, a powerful, more consciousness could ask the soul, "Hey, let me steer this."
No, I don't look. I look at it more as a nefarious thing, a magical or a black magic thing. In the sense is, what if what MK Ultra, right, was the process of discovering the attuned frequency of each individual being, and once you found that attuned frequency, you could produce an artificial consciousness to basically be transmitted into that body, focused towards that body.
We won't know what the hell's going on.
And that body would be suppressed, disoriented. That consciousness takes over like a computer program, runs out the mission. That person comes back and goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
Or messes up and the person kills like the wrong person, like, I don't know, innocent people, because he wasn't supposed to kill the, you know.
Like think of Sirhan or Mark David Chapman or any of these people that killed famous people. Right? You know, Sirhan was sitting there over RFK's body, like just completely confused.
What I'm saying is how many people get programmed to kill famous people but don't, and essentially just kill somebody in their neighborhood by accident.
You're right. That's a good point.
Don't they? People sometimes say they've been hypnotized. Didn't one of them say that?
I'm sure.
I was actually watching this one video about altered states of consciousness and hypnosis, and it was done by a professor. I think it's a Harvard mini class on YouTube. And he's like, anybody out there telling you that, they can hypnotize a person and make them go do things and cluck like a chicken, or secret CIA agents that can go out there, and these people are crazy conspiracy theorists and they don't know what they're talking about because that can't happen. I'm sitting there going,
if you let them happen, yeah, of course you can.
It's been proven that somebody could be hypnotized to commit murder.
Absolutely.
Really? Like without knowing it?
Without knowing it.
See, like, I think if you know it, like, I've never been hypnotized. They tried, but I'm like, I fought it. I'm like, no, I'm fucking take my mind. And I don't think it worked because I remember doing everything, Fuck it. Everyone else was like playing fake piano and stuff. It's weird.
The interesting thing about trances too is you could be put into a trance and then have a better memory recall. There's one case where some dude was put in a trance and was able to recall a license plate of a bus that was stolen and solve the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I learned
remote viewing as well.
I remember the third thing I learned: the password to this to your chat room, passcode
Wait, what?
to the Zoom 621299. I don't have to look it up anymore.
Oh,
That was the third thing I learned.
thanks for just telling everybody my Zoom password.
You have to change that.
I'm probably gonna have to.
Sorry about that, guys.
We're about to get like 30 invitations popping in here.
I
I want to join. I want to join. No, so
I said it real fast.
so consciousness is interesting. So I'm in the perception that consciousness is external to the body because I've experienced consciousness outside, non-localized consciousness that I when you are in a state where you can see 360 degrees, not even 360, I mean, you can see a spherical
Everything.
orientation
stay
of
there,
the universe. No, how about this?
Hard to like stop it. No.
I was there, okay? And here's the messed up thing. Is you experience a spherical 360 degrees in all angles and directions conscious experience. Like you're a pinpoint and you can experience everything around you, back and forth and underneath before. And everything, right? But here's the interesting thing. Is you experience it all instantaneously. There is no like, oh, there's that there, there's that there, there's that there. There's just, it's all there. Like you take it all in at the same time. And it's profound because, you know, I think that a lot of these research into this stuff, the neuroscientists, and they've never had these experiences to even compare with. And they would say, oh, it's just your brain producing this because this is... No, I'm telling you it's not. Because if my brain can produce it, that means that I can exist within it. And if my brain can exist in that state, and then tell me how I'm seeing below my feet.
We're all
Somehow I'm
connected.
seeing behind
100%.
myself.
Yep, exactly. Dude, like I had a dream. I had a memory actually of something that used to happen to me when I was a kid. And like when I would throw up, if I ate something bad, like when I went to sleep, I would just like throw up sometimes. You know what I mean? And I remember right before it happening, I was seeing like a small pebble and a large boulder and a small pebble and a large boulder. That's all I saw. And I said that like either on the podcast or on TikTok, and somebody commented, he's like, Joe, I have never heard anyone describe it exactly the way you did. And he like rewrote what I said. And I don't think he was joking, but like I believe that like that's what I was like seeing, like kind of like my mind couldn't make up the difference between what the little and the outside was, and I just threw up. That was weird. Do you ever see Small Boulder, Big Pebble, or whatever?
Small boulder, big pebble. I know what you're talking about. Is like you can't perceive which one is which. If you
It's
look
not
at
like the spins, but like you just like it's like the, I don't know, yeah. You know, it's like when you're drunk and you have the spins, you lay down. It's nothing spinning though. It's just small and large, small and large.
Interesting. No, I don't.
Yeah,
I've never had
weird.
that experience. Yeah. So tell me about your experiences with altered consciousness.
I mean, right before this, I altered my state of consciousness a little bit because I wanted to see what that was like, and it was fun. And then, because I think that has through chemical induction of the Sherlock Holmes pipe location.
Cannabis.
Okay. The reason I asked,
cannabis, right?
My tobacco water pipe. Yeah.
I just ask because you could use a substance, you can meditate and breathe.
Yep. Focus on one object. Yeah.
To clear your mind. There's different ways people get there.
Exactly. And like there's powerful altered states of consciousness like DMT for about 5 minutes. You're like altered as fuck. Like it's altered. You would know the fact that you're not where you're supposed to be. But the funny thing is I don't think that consciousness in itself and like in any terms is what we think. I think it's a little backwards. Like we always think we go somewhere and we take this trip. I think we stay and everything else kind of just like comes to us like slides.
This is a great point. So, what's interesting you just said there is that DMT alters your consciousness really, really bad. Is really what we're seeing here is a
hyper reality.
Well, it's a distortion with the input-output carrier signals of reality, right? So
right.
Let's just think about this.
A surge, if you will, because if it's like an extra.
Well, yeah, but so what we're trying to say here is that everything that you understand in altered states or even in current existent states is determined by what factor?
Memory.
Well, no. Think about this. If you're on DMT, what are you experiencing? But I want you to truly understand this.
Sight, sight with my eyes closed. This is what it
Your
is.
senses.
I closed my eyes and I saw a bright light. I didn't hear a bright
Sensory
light.
input.
I didn't smell a bright light.
right.
I closed my eyes. It's supposed to be black, but it wasn't fucking black. There was a bright golden light from the top of my head, and I kept trying to look up, but it wasn't above me. It was coming from my
So
forehead.
your
Sensory
senses.
input.
Yeah, your sensory input. Now, what is an altered state of consciousness? It's anything that is a interference within your
Just-
sensory input
or
output
distortion.
system,
Right.
Okay. So we see that when we take certain drugs, they disrupt that sensory input output carrier system. But what is that input output carrier system really relaying to our brains?
Exactly. Like, who's to say that that's not disrupting? It's adjusting and making it like more acute.
True.
And this is all disrupted.
And I agree with you what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is where that information coming from?
It's not the drug. It's coming in from you.
It's
What's
coming in
the
from outside you.
consciousness.
No, it's all outside of you. Everything that you're experiencing in an altered state. So if I sit here and I smoke some DMT, your body is still taking in information from its external environment. What you're really perceiving, okay, is you're perceiving. And so I've never done DMT, so I can't really speak on this, but I've done heavy amounts of LSD.
I think it would do wonders for you, dude. Like, you would fucking you would do telekinesis when you came out of that shit for
Well,
real. You'd be like, "Pah."
Let's just.
Like, I'm the guy in my vision.
I don't think I
Like,
need
shit.
it, and this is why.
I'm not saying you need it, but it's awesome.
I think that there's various degrees of altered states of consciousness. Now, the degrees that we're talking about right now are basically input-output carrier signals that are disrupted, interrupted, enhanced, modified, or something of that nature. To where, right, I open my eyes and it's kaleidoscopes. Why? Because there's 32 terabytes of information. That's a funny number. 32 terabytes of information coming into my sensory organs. Electromagnetic energy bombarding my bodies, my chromatic cells in my arms, my eyes, my ears, everything, right? And my belief system, my limitation system in my body takes a small 36 kilobytes of that and says, this is all I'm going to look at. But
You know, imagine how much shit there is behind the veil. Oh my god.
That's right.
Not everybody knows what DMT is.
Okay.
DMT is a naturally occurring.
Dimethyltryptamine.
It's my name, Dimitri. They call that Dimitri on the streets.
Yeah. Dimethyltryptamine.
That's the nickname for Dimitri. DMT is Dimitri on the streets. I swear to God, look it up. Look at Urban Dictionary.
I got you. So people want to know what it is. So it's a chemical substance called dimethyltryptamine. There's many variations that are found throughout the world. Now, it is actually one of the most abundant psychotropic drugs on the planet. Literally, it is found in every single organic substance on this planet, including grass.
You know, like, that's a little suspicious.
Well, every single organism on this planet produces DMT within their system, including human beings 3 times within their life: at birth, at death, and every night when you go to sleep.
More than 3 times. That's like thousands.
3 times in their life period. So, so there's actually one of the side effects of DMT production is memory loss. This is why you don't remember your dreams, because right before you go to sleep, your pineal gland extracts just a little bit of DMT, bloop, to put you into this hallucinogenic state. Now, DMT is an amazing drug that's been utilized on this planet. Now, the people, the Aboriginal tribes of South America in the Amazon rainforest have been using this for medicinal and for spiritual purposes for well over
ayahuasca
2,100 years in a chemical compound known as ayahuasca. Now, here's the
plants.
Here's the fucked up thing about this. These are nomadic tribes that lack technology and scientific understanding. And they were able... What's that?
Do you know the story of how they discovered it?
Well, I've
they
heard
combine two different things. It's a vine and a bark, and gotta brew it together in like a little tea.
No, but you have to understand is they were told to combine the bark and the vine by one of their gods.
Yep.
Came down.
The shaman was told by a guide to mix this root with this plant and make the drink.
That's right.
The plant activates the root.
Yep, it has to be those two things. Yeah,
MOAI inhibitor. And so basically the way it is if they were going to just randomly select plants at random, The
It would never
probability
happen.
of them
Yeah.
selecting that is like 1 in a quadrillion. They'd still be doing it today after 2,000 years and probably would not be successful. But their story is that the shaman was told by a guide or a god to
What do he look like?
combine
Do you have a
this
picture?
bark and this plant.
Is there a picture of this occasion, like of the guy like handing him
I don't
the
think
god?
so.
What does the god look
But
like?
here's the interesting thing. DMT in its natural state is immediately broken down by the body. This is why the trips only last a few seconds to a few minutes because
And
our
you have no
bodies break it
tolerance.
down. Right, you have
Like,
no
there's no-
tolerance.
You
But
just-
with
again, in an hour, same-
ayahuasca, what it
You got for
does is
days.
it inhibits the MOAI reaction that occurs within the body and allows the sustainment of the trip for up to 12 hours. Basically, it's a slow release capsule of DMT.
I wonder if you ate it instead of smoked it, if that would have the same effect.
I've never heard of anybody
I
eating
think
it,
you have
so.
to eat it so it's activated, right? So you.
But you smoke it, and DMT you smoke to get like that 5-minute thing. But if you ate it instead of smoking it,
But it's a
I
dangerous
wonder if-
substance. I mean, like you don't wanna
body-
have certain drugs and foods. You have to fast before you do it if you're gonna actually drink ayahuasca.
Oh,
That
yeah.
shit will kill you.
Oh yeah,
You
because
gotta-
you throw up afterwards. You're like
You gotta
crazy. Yeah.
change your diet for like a couple weeks
Yeah.
beforehand.
Because if you have certain alkaloids in your body, it'll kill you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm
and
not,
a lot
I'm
of
not gonna do that. I'm
people-
just saying.
They go into respiratory arrest during ayahuasca.
That happened to me too. I took the toad venom. That's exactly what happened. Yep. All you gotta do is right there. You just gotta let go. Cough it, and you'll be fine. good.
I've watched videos of it, and I'm not. doing
Profusely
it.
sweating. That was fun.
Yeah, I've watched videos. I won't do it. There's many people that I know who, well, I've heard of who've died on trips to South America because
I'm not
they
doing
sell
that,
it on the
Iris.
street. Yeah, they sell it on the street and shit. But
They say too, when you do it out there, a lot of people get called out to the ocean and will just walk out to sea.
Oh, nice.
So you have to have like a babysitter essentially.
Or a
But-
floaty.
so you have DMT, which is this substance. Basically, it's an organic substance that people believe produces reality.
Right, we build it. I think we collectively build reality using our DMT bits while we dream. Or at least we do the astral. We built something. I don't know if it's this reality or the one we dream, but we're definitely constructing all the time. And taking and switching. Like what I think is
Well,
we're
I
skipping
think that our true
realities.
nature. So I think it's like, how about this? I think we are to reality what ayahuasca is to DMT.
Right.
Right? So a human body is the dilution of consciousness and its creative forces to basically evolve to a higher state by going through that distortion, by going through that obstacle. The same
What
thing
if you
with
skip
ayahuasca.
realities? What if you skip realities? So the soul
What
is
does
in
that
the
mean?
body. So the soul is in the body in this, then you just take the whole dial and you choop, and now it's a different reality of the soul being in that body.
Well,
but
that's
the
quantum
consciousness
jumping.
when the right. So the consciousness is able to quantum jump.
I think that your consciousness can jump in. You ever seen the OA on Netflix? That show, the OA?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, you got to go watch it.
Why?
What are you, man? You're missing like
make
some of the best
television.
shows in the world.
I know. I liked what was the last show I saw? I think American Horror Story is pretty good.
Yeah, they had some good ones. The House and
Oh,
stuff.
love, sex and robots or whatever on Netflix. That little 10-minute things.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
I've seen a few of them. They're good.
Wow.
But so
21. What was it?
OA. It's called OA, and
OA.
basically it's this these patients who are in comas, and all of a sudden globally they all start coming out of their comas. And then I think that like they're kidnapped by this dude and they're held in this basement, and basically what they are is when they were in comas was actually they were in like an alternate like dream world. They were out of body experiencing.
Wow.
And
Okay.
like they're professionals at it. And basically what you learn in the first season is they're actually dimensionally jumping.
Do you ever see what's that? Devs? Have you watched Devs yet?
No.
I saw the first episode. My ex keeps trying to tell me to watch it, but apparently it's all about quantum jumping and quantum physics and all that stuff. It's pretty crazy. I think it's similar to what you're talking about. But I understand quantum jumping. I think consciousness can do that, but you can't control it to an extent. Once you gain control of it, you can. But I think you just quantum jump to kind of like align your best with whatever it thinks you're doing right now. Which is why like ADD is like not a disorder. It's just like an enhanced like.
Do you want to
I'll
hear one of the
change.
Mandela effect theories?
Yeah.
is that in actuality, every single one of us, when you make choices and decisions in your life, you're quantum jumping to alternative realities that are just fractions of a phase difference from the current reality.
I agree 100%.
As reality moves on and as more of us interact and start changing our own realities. Now, think about this. Is magic is the universe basically you influencing the universe to benefit your own life, right? And the universe has to do this through the path of least resistance.
Right.
Now,
but not just your own life.
Well, but
Like,
what if
you
in
got-
this dimensional world that we're in, the path of least resistance was just to switch you into another dimension because it's
That's
less
easier.
energy. Yeah.
Right.
And so in actuality, what's happening is we're
Like a
quantum
bubble.
jumping throughout life. Now, here's the thing: is why would it only be noticed now? Why weren't they noticing it 100 years ago or 200?
Because
years ago?
enough of us are doing it together.
Because of information, of how information's exchanged. We now have digital records and copies of all these things. We can actually
The
go
memory.
back. Yeah, we can actually go back and check it out. I mean, like it's literally right there. You can think about it. If this is like 1890 and someone's like, "I thought George Washington had brown hair." Like, what the fuck?
Right.
You gonna go to the local library and look that shit up? You're
You
gonna
just
forget
ask
about
George
it by the next
Washington,
morning.
yo.
You're gonna go on with your life, right? It's not a big deal. You're not even gonna think about it. You see a picture of George Washington, like, oh, that painter must have been a dumbass, right? Like he gave him blonde locks,
Right.
right?
Like-
But now it's different because we have this digital record. We have
Tip of your
this whole
finger.
construct of information dissemination and exchange.
So we
And
get
so
smarter.
I think the Mandela effect has been happening all along. But what
is that?
it was our consciousness is quantum jumping the different fractions of reality. And it's happening to all of us.
But why is it happening to all of us at the same time, though?
Because
Shouldn't
that's
be
just
having
how
an
reality
opposite.
works.
What if it was happening to such a large extent that we were all dinosaurs?
See, I think that it's happening every time CERN collides little
We
particles.
were once dinosaurs and now we're this.
We're drinking the same water.
Ah!
The same water
Fucking
through the water
memories.
cycle. Same water, dude. Same water.
Mandela.
Yeah, I mean,
We're all
seriously, what if... So we have some ants in my garage, right?
Like, here's my Mandela effect. Like, that was us. You remember this?
That was us.
Like,
Velociraptor. So
you don't remember this?
I got some ants in my garage, okay?
Yeah. All
And
right.
so they started out. There's an ant hill out in my parking lot, right? My
Mm-hmm.
driveway, and there's an ant hill out there. And I started exterminating them, and then all of a sudden they're in my garage, and now there's flying ants amongst the smaller ants.
There's what? Flying?
Termites.
There's
Flying
flying ants? The
Flying
fuck are flying ants?
Yeah, flying ants with wings.
It's like
Flies, you mean?
termites.
Yeah, they look like termites, but they're flying
Okay.
ants. They're literally just ants with fucking wings.
Fourth thing I've learned today. Cool.
Now, let me
Flying
ask you
ants.
this.
Look out for those motherfuckers.
How often do you see flying ants?
Never. I see sniper ants. Never fly. What the fuck? Fly. I've never seen
California
a flying ant.
has
Wait a
stuff
minute.
like that.
Okay.
What the hell are those giant things with
Hold
the
on,
fur?
hold on.
Not crickets, but
I'm
like
trying
those.
I'm trying to get to a point here, bud.
They look like cockroaches,
Okay.
but they jump. Okay.
Darwinian evolution states that small bursts of evolutionary changes happen over time as a species, right, is influenced by its environment. That influence produces what we know as epigenetic control factors that
Like
dictate
mosquitoes
the-
afraid of the vacuum cleaner.
that can dictate DNA expression.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm saying
okay.
that that's bullshit, and the only thing that ever happens is adaptation. Those ants, okay, in my garage, they were all walking on the ground, and then one day they were flying. And I'm sitting there going, what are they doing?
They-
Well, guess what? They're
just
flying up to this
evolved,
top part
right.
above, like, the refrigerator in my garage, and they're all heading up that way. They adapted to the environment because there was food in a place that they wanted to get to,
I agree.
right?
That's
they
what's gonna happen no matter what.
spontaneously evolved.
Without them even knowing. They didn't even think about it, too. They were
Right,
just
they
like,
didn't think
oh,
about it. It's just a genetic expression, right? Oh, there's food up there. Okay, well, man, we need to change something, and we have this factor within our genes that allows
So-
us to develop wings. So let's give a certain percentage of us wings, and boom, there they are.
So, like, if a guy goes to prison for 20 years and comes out and he goes right back in because he can't live on the outside world because he's adapted to the four walls.
Well, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
how about this is the guy coming out of prison that adapts to the new world around him?
It's going to be much tougher to do that because, of that,
Well,
adaptation. Like,
I
so
think,
if you repeat,
I
what
think
I'm saying is,
humans
like,
are inclined to adaptation,
Right, no
because
matter what. Right.
of because of the theory of evolution, Darwinian evolution. I think that Darwinian evolution makes life deterministic and gives that perspective of determinism, which means that we go much about our lives thinking that, oh, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just this, and that's it.
Right.
In actuality, it's you can create and manifest your own reality plane, and that it can change dynamically in an instance, simply by changing your belief or your limitations, and that you could grow wings and fucking fly away if you just believed you could and were able to get rid of
100%.
the limitations upon your mind.
Stigmata is a perfect example. Documented on science paper and religious paper, whatever you want. Stigmata, the perfect example of exactly that.
Augmented
Altered states of consciousness.
Yeah, altered states of consciousness, or augmented states of consciousness.
Yep, it's crazy. All I could say is, like, if I give advice to anyone and anything, is try to make every single day as different as you possibly can, even if it means brushing your teeth with your left hand.
One thing that I do for people, how about this? This is what I do to people, is shower. Next time you get in the shower, let me ask you this thing.
I just did. What do you mean?
Shower anomalies.
I thought the girl was going to be on here, so I was. Oh.
No, shower anomalies. Okay. You're in the shower after you wake up in the morning. You get in the shower, and how many times have you realized that your eyes were closed or open and didn't realize it? You ever had the sensation where you're in the shower, the water's dripping down, and you realize your eyes have been closed the whole time? You're like, oh shit! I realized my eyes were closed.
I always close my eyes for a period of time.
Right, but have you ever had the sensation that you forgot your eyes were closed?
Yeah, just like autopilot.
Well, that's it. Okay, now what I want you to do is, if you're in the shower, which way are you standing?
Always facing the water.
There you go. I want you to do next time is consciously turn around and face a different direction.
Wait, hang on. What the fuck do you mean north? You have a compass in your shower? What the fuck is north? I'm serious.
I just align magnetically.
When the car's compass says southeast, I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, where's north? What's north, Vince? Where's the sun?
So one thing to do, like, to fuck up consciousness, okay, to fuck up your mind, is get in there, and this is what you'll have. You'll have an aha epiphany, something that you did not know, minor moment. And if you do this, if you get into the shower and you're in a routine, you're going to break your routine. The way you're going to do this is, let's say you get in there and you start blah, 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 you know, all of a sudden I want you to just turn to the left and start facing the left and feel how weird the water feels. And you'll be like, this just doesn't work. You'll have to turn back around. It'll get
no, you won't. I mean, you'll want to turn back around, but don't.
You brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. You take your shower, turn 90 degrees, and then next thing you know,
you're flying away with wings.
No, you're changing.
In Josh's garage.
You're changing the profile of reality.
Exactly.
See, reality needs that dynamic change. Because remember, we were talking about the 32 terabytes of information that's coming in.
Yeah.
See, your brain, your limited brain, gets adjusted to the 32 kilobytes that it perceives and that it dictates as your reality. When you start changing those input-output carrier signals,
you open up more possibilities.
Oh, I gotta take in another 32 kilobytes because I don't get this shit.
And I brush my hand with me. Boom! Now I got the left side done. It's little things you don't realize you do though, like little subtle, just like they do with like McDonald's and the red and the yellow and the music and the golden arches, like all that stuff, like manipulation. You do that to yourself by not being different or by being stagnant, by liking things the way they are. Like you're fucking yourself up.
All freedom is mental.
Of course.
You can shackle my hands, you can cuff my legs, you can throw me in a cave and put me in jail, but you'll never enslave my mind. Never.
Somebody was writing something about slavery on the app, and I responded and I said something like, "Nobody can enslave me. I'm a man. I can only enslave myself."
I was just watching Daniel Tosh talk about slavery, and it was pretty fucking hilarious.
That guy's off the rails.
He really is. It was funny though. He made it sound like it was going to be bad, but he was actually kind of turned out well. I'm not going to repeat that here though. YouTube's not going to like that.
Well, but what is slavery?
Somebody else controlling your actions.
Someone else controlling your actions. Period.
Yep. Can't believe we got away with that.
So how about this? So if that's what slavery is, then what is freedom? Is you are in control of your own actions. Yep. That means that in order to have freedom, you have to have discipline. self-discipline. Hold on, I got this right here.
Actually, physical slavery is pretty much like slavery of the mind too, because they have the mindset to be free.
There is no physical slavery. There is only mental slavery. Now listen to this. Self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not.
Or not. Yeah, it's a big one.
They
get you at the end there.
That's freedom. Understand, is that ability is freedom. That is the only derivation of how freedom comes about. Because here's the thing, is if you don't have self-discipline over your mind, who does?
Exactly. It's subjective. I understand. Like you have to, when you don't want to do it, you have to do it to be free. But you don't want to do it. That's not freedom, but it is, because you need to have something to compare freedom to have freedom.
What?
Kind of, All right.
You lost me on that one.
All right. So basically it's like, if being able to do what you need to do, even if you don't want to do it, that's not really freedom, because I don't want to do it. I'm free to not do it.
You have to do it to maintain control over your life. So here's the thing. Think about this. Think about it in the sense of information right now. Okay? How many people out there just blindly accept what a book tells them, what mainstream media tells them, what a politician tells them, what the Pope tells them, what a leader tells them, what an authority tells them?
A lot more than not.
Okay. Now, what the information that those entities tell that being, does that dictate that being's actions?
Yeah.
Get the vaccine. Okay, get the vaccine. Vaccine's good for me.
Yeah. But
okay.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
That means that they have no discipline over their actions. They weren't able to hypercritically analyze the information coming in to their own body to make a good judgment based upon their actions. Well, they believe they did because they're looking at the information at hand, right? But the question is
who's giving the info? Yeah, like who the hell you know? Like, I get it.
Yeah, basically what they're doing is they're falling victim to authoritarianism.
But is it victim because they chose to do it?
No, it's voluntary servitude. Voluntary servitude.
Right. So that's not really I don't know how to influence. Okay, they were, but I guess you're right.
But what got them to that state to begin with?
Constant bombardment of
complacency.
Yeah.
I like complacency, constant bombardment.
Participation trophies.
Well, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of socio-economic, socio-political aspects that got them to that situation. But the bottom line is themselves. Period.
There's no competition. Yeah.
No. The bottom line is they lack the self-discipline. Okay? They lack the self-discipline to take control over their own actions. How many people in this world right now, okay, don't want to produce action in the world? Say no to a vaccine so they don't lose their job.
Probably like 5 billion.
Yeah. The majority. That's enslavement.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I would be like, screw your job. Get the fuck out of here. You serious? I don't walk around with a mask. I don't care.
Well, but that's another aspect of it. But we can't talk about that right now because we're on YouTube. But what I'm trying to say is
back that up.
Slavery is someone else dictating your actions, and I got it written down right here. How about this? And these are quotes that I wrote, and so I want to read these to you. The difference between slavery and freedom. Okay. This is actually a shirt that we have in the Redpill Project store.
Okay.
But let me pull this one up here. There it is. All right. Freedom, the power and ability of an individual to discipline their mind in the obtainment of their own evolution, progress, and development without external interference.
Do you have that written on a shirt?
I do. And then slavery. Slave.
Okay.
When one involuntarily forcibly
read that on a train, I'd be like, stop, wait, hang on. Got it.
When one involuntarily, forcibly, or through their own ignorance allows an external force or information to dominate and control their thoughts, actions, and reality.
Just right the opposite of the other side.
Dude, it says slave on front in the definition, and then
it's a slave on the front,
okay,
and then freedom on the back.
You'd have to definitely be standing next to that person for like a minute to get all that. I'm just saying from.
Hey, it makes you think though.
It does.
I was
But
literally.
yeah, it's true though.
I was wearing the shirt, walking down the grocery store aisle,
Yeah, because you stand in line and stuff. Yeah, I get it.
and the person walking behind me walks up and says, "By the way, that's an awesome fucking shirt." And I said, "Did you read the front?" They said, "No, I just read the back." And I
Nice.
show them the front, and they go, "Makes a lot of sense."
I'll take 25. No,
Because when you're wearing a shirt that says
It's a
"slave,"
popular one.
slave
Oh, I
right
love
here, people pay attention to that.
I saw that. That's the part of the shirt I saw because that's the part that comes up in the
Yeah, slave.
That's dope.
A slave is when one involuntarily, forcibly, or through their own ignorance allows an external force or information to dominate and control their thoughts, actions, and reality. Think about that. It's all a mental, conscious process. It's when you give up your will to another.
Oh, so I
See,
had an experience last night. That was an altered state of consciousness, but it was just sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
well, that's perfectly good altered state of consciousness.
And I had become lucid in a dream because I was looking at some clouds and I wanted to take a picture. And by the time I got a camera and looked back at what I wanted to take a picture of, it had changed. And it happened again, and it had changed. And I was like, what the hell? I must be dreaming. But I didn't get to the point of doing anything after that. Like, I didn't make anything happen. I just realized I was dreaming and just don't remember anything after.
Have you ever had those? It's kind of similar to that sensation of consciousness where you're like doing something and you turn around, you get distracted by something, and all of a sudden you forgot what you're doing, and you just have to just continue with life and forget about it, and you're wondering, like, did I just jump dimensions and, like, just end up in a new dimension? Because whatever I was doing I thought was important, but I have no fucking idea even what it is.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And so what if that was a result of quantum jumping?
You just walk into a room and you're like, why am I here right now?
Why am I here right now?
Happens to me in the fridge in the walk-in in the restaurant. I walk into the fridge and I'm just like, do the John Travolta, like,
Yeah.
you know. You should, Vince. You should, next time you do that, get like an amulet or an omen or something that you could focus on to when you see like the clouds and you like just focus on the red lighter, but get like something like that because that you could hold yourself in that state for a little longer maybe.
Okay.
Leo had the little spinny top, in Inception. I don't know, whatever it is. I think that could help.
It's called anchoring.
Yeah, anchoring reality triggers.
Yep.
And then I want to do the kickback method. I want to get to this part where you kick and you have that like that's falling asleep feeling, because that's how you could snap into the dream too.
Hypnagogia.
Yep, that's right.
Hypnagogia. It's the gateway to all mental, quantum, and spiritual realms.
Nikola Tesla would do that, right? He would sit on edge so when he got in that state.
Hold on. No, it was not Nikola. So it was,
who was
there's a
Einstein
story-
too.
No, so hold on. This is a big misnomer. Thomas Edison
Oh, really?
is who it was. So Thomas Edison used to sit in his rocking chair and he'd hold a quarter in his hand. And he would put the rocking chair, like he would anchor it back so he was leaned back. But if you lean back anymore, the chair would start rocking and the quarter would drop and he'd wake up.
And it would wake him up, yeah. But
he'd
sometimes he'd wake up in a dream, yeah.
Well, he would ask himself a question before he took the nap, and then he would write down the answers when he came out of it.
And the quarter like fell down slow.
Yeah.
And then you like thought about everything and then like, wow, my God, write it down. You forget.
Have you guys ever seen a glitch in the Matrix?
I've experienced a glitch in the Matrix, but I haven't seen it.
Tell me about your glitch.
Well, it happened the other day. Like my 3 minutes. Somebody took my 3 minutes. Somebody stole my 3 minutes. So I look at my microwave. It's 10:56. I looked at my phone. It's 10:56. I take the phone out of the charger to see what percentage. Like I tap my phone just to look at it, and then I like look. Microwave phone. I take it out of the charger to see how much percentage it is. 10:59. Looked at my microwave. 10:59. Like I didn't stop. I didn't like do anything. They didn't do the Macarena real fast. Like I fucking took my phone and it just skipped 3 minutes. But both devices. And my third device, the oven, didn't have the clock on it. I should have had the triple checker.
Hold on.
But the rest of that day felt really fast, like normally fast. But like just those 3 minutes, they were, I don't know, man. Did I have like a brain fart? I was just standing there like this for 3 minutes. Or is it like that movie Dark City when they inject stuff into your head, like
That was
overnight?
a great movie. Isn't that the one where he opens up the door and they're in the middle of space?
Yeah, it's a Kiefer Sutherland. He does. I know you're a doctor, and he
Yeah.
takes the consciousness out the robber, and he puts it into like, yeah, it's crazy.
So glitch in the Matrix. What about you, Vince? Any glitches in the Matrix?
Not that I could pick up right now.
I've had.
Well, actually,
Let's hear it.
I do notice weird things. Maybe it's just the like computer programs I use, but I look at a lot of numbers, and I'll notice patterns in long strings of numbers sometimes that recur, like
Really long one?
abnormally- Yeah, where it should be random, and you see like patterns that statistically.
How many numbers can you remember in a row? Like just like from the hip. Like give me like an example of how many numbers that one of those is.
I
about.
usually just remember 4 or 5
3.14159265.
decimal after the decimal.
But that's one number. right.
So I guess it'll be like 6 or 7 digits.
Right. Like if you saw the same license plate, but all numbers pop up more than once or twice or 3 times, you'd remember that pattern of numbers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Or is it like a 20 number sequence, which is like that's
If
creepy.
I want to. If I want to.
Okay. All right. I get
Okay,
it. I don't
so-
look at numbers, so I'm just curious.
So what's the glitch?
I don't know. I think
The
it's
long
just,
patterns.
Well, that'd be
I think
your reticular activating system,
It's just like a statistical.
the ARS.
I don't know. Because he's looking for it essentially.
No, because you notice it, and once you start noticing it, your brain, your reptilian brain, kicks in for survival, and begins to point it out and noticeable different portions of your reality. It's
That's I guess I bought a Civic, so now everyone drives a Civic.
yeah. Now
on the
everybody,
road.
I bought this shirt. Now I'm seeing everybody wearing the shirt. What the hell?
This is like a string of like 4 or 5 numbers.
It's the same
like,
concept,
or more.
It's the same concept.
I guess.
So how about this? This is a glitch in the Matrix. I was in Vasco Nunez del Balboa, Panama. We pulled in there for a port call. I was on the cell phone with my then fiance, and I'm going to play some roulette.
Boris the Butcher. Oh, okay.
You're going to play roulette.
I'm going to play
Was it
roulette. I'm at a
was it
casino.
31 black? Was it
No,
31
hold on,
black?
hold on. So I said, what should we do? You know, she goes, okay. She goes, I'm going to give you. And she comes from a long line of gypsy, so she's like, let's pick some numbers and let's go for it. And it was 11, 23, 27, and 28. I think 4 numbers. And I went up there, $100 on 11, hits 11. $100 on 23, hits 23.
We just got some money.
All 4 numbers in a row, boom, just like that.
It's like $1,000.
That's $3,200 a piece. It was paid out at 28 to 1, so it was 28.
I did that once. I was walking through a casino. I said 31 black, and I pointed at it. Some dude was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yes," and he put it on, and boom, it hit. I was like, "Told you," and I just kept walking. Like,
So those are these are not glitches per se, but so a week later we're in another casino, and I had never played a slot machine before in my life.
That's cool.
And my buddy's like, you know what I heard? He goes, you know what? I played a lot of slot machines, and there's this thing out there that happens when you go play a slot machine for the first time. I go, what's that?
It's true.
He goes, it's a beginner's luck. Is that you just win the jackpot? I'm like, well, that'd be great. First pull, I got triple 7. That paid $2,800.
That's awesome.
They come clear the machine. Second pull, nothing. Third pull, triple jackpot.
Same machine.
Same machine. I hit
Ooh, that
4
machine-
jackpots almost in 10 spins on that machine.
And the gaming commission didn't talk to you about like
No, they
have a
came
chat
over.
with
They
you?
paid me cash, and then I went and I was playing $300 a number on roulette. I was playing about
So they didn't
a
even care.
grand
Like,
to
let-
$2,000
let
a
them
hand
keep
on
winning jackpots.
blackjack. I walked away with a lot of money though.
That's good. No, because usually if you win 4 in one shot, like one sitting on
No,
the
it
same
wasn't
machine,
my
they're
fault.
gonna.
It was their machine. I mean, yeah, right.
No, of course, but there's going to be some chats with you, and then the machine's going.
But how about this? Is I was at a casino up here, and I was playing a slot, and I was tapping the side of the machine. And I was like, just keeping a constant rhythm. And every
Right.
time I'd come to the last beat, I'd hit the spin.
Yeah, that's
Right?
cool. I've never tried that. That's a good
And
idea.
something in my mind was saying is that the RNGs are completely rhythmic. Is they base the sequences, the win sequences, on rhythms, and so
If
it's
you can
looking
hum,
for it's looking for different points of the rhythm. And you know what determines the rhythm that it's spinning on? The intervals between when you're hitting that button.
I understand.
Yeah. And so if you keep a steady rhythm, you'll keep it within that flow to where it's not going to reset the wind cycle, right? And so what you want to do is you want to be consistent within the rhythm cycle.
You like hijack the machine. Yeah.
So basically what you're doing is you're showing this machine a melody, right? Mm-hmm. And it's going to give you more winners. And this legitimately works. 100%.
I wonder if you could sing to it. Like, I wonder if you could go like, honestly, just like.
No. Listen, all I'm talking about is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Just keep a steady rhythm. And what you do is you're.
Oh no, I get it.
You hit at every fourth beat. You hit that spin. It goes. Then you wait.
Exactly
1, 2, 3, 4. Boom.
Ocean's 12 or 13. Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. And what's happening here is your RNG resets. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the long spins. Is a slot machine will spin like this and it'll go a little bit longer. That's the reels resetting. This even happens on the digital side. And basically what this is doing is they're running algorithms to produce the RNGs inside. So the random number generators that produce the wheels, each algorithm has a different selection of RNGs. Right. Now here's the thing. Is each one of those algorithms has a different win sequence. Where some of them you're going to have like 5 wins within 10 spins. Some of them you're going to have 5 wins within 100 spins. Some of them you're going to have one major win. Too. Right, and they're adjustable. And so what you're trying to do is you're testing a 4-4, a 3-3, a 5-7. You're testing these different rhythm sequences to find which one the win is. Yeah. I'm telling you, it fucking works.
This might not be a good idea to talk about because
everybody's gonna be out fucking going to the casino right after this.
Or the gaming commission's gonna knock on your door and say, dude, what are you doing?
Well, listen, it has nothing to do with them. They can't stop any of this. The reason is because you have to understand what computer programming is.
Language.
It's energy, frequency, and vibration. So have you ever studied electronics at its very fundamental basics? One of the most difficult courses I ever went through in my life was transistor theory course.
Oh, so I don't like this stuff.
Well, unless you went through electronics training courses, electrical engineering courses, you'd probably never even get to this. So I was in the Navy for 10 years, and 3 years of my naval service was in school learning about advanced electronics, computer systems, and gun missile fire control systems, and the integration system aspect of combat directory system of how all these things work together. And so I had to take very fundamental and basic electronic courses and understand it at the physics level, the quantum physics level, on up. And one of the things that you learn is basically what's happening within a computer system on a very fundamental basis. So do you know what a flip-flop is? It's a certain type of electrical circuit, okay? And flip-flops are like pre-transistors. Basically what this is think about it, you know what a relay is? A magnetic relay? Mm-hmm. Think about a flip-flop as an electrical relay. And basically what it's doing is I'm setting a state of something. So if the relay is initiated, that's off. If the relay's open, that's off. If the relay's closed, that's on. That's a binary system. And basically what's happening, in a flip-flop is I have an electrical bias, a voltage that comes in that initializes in the sequence, the flip-flop. The second thing is I have a voltage that comes in, the emitter voltage, right? And this thing tells it to be open or closed.
So you just described quantum physics, or the wave collapse or whatever.
Yeah, very similar. So whether it's open or closed is a signal travels on that line and performs some type of action. That action usually always depends upon the voltage level of that opening. So let's say that this is a binary 1, right? This is indicating a binary 1. That binary 1 might highlight this pixel right there.
That's what a quantum computer does versus a regular computer.
Well, no. This is just a regular computer. So what they did is they took this functionality into a transistor, which a transistor can do this flip-flopping action millions of times a second.
Right. So what I'm saying is a quantum computer does that with binary code. Instead of zeros and ones, it could be a 0 or a 1.
It does it with quaternary code. And it's a completely different system of thought. And we're talking about qubits when we get into the quantum envelope aspect. And it's talking about the spin of electrical states and how those spins, on-spin, off-spins, and, 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 the, and, the, and the, 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 the flavor of those spins. So that's a completely different we're just talking about regular computers. So right now, in digital logic, and gates, NOR gates, and OR gates, these gating sequences, right, are written into the programs. This is how the programs produce functionality. Is they say, hey, if this series of flip-flops is open and close and open and open, 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 close, open, close, it does
this will happen.
This.
Right.
That's what we're seeing here, okay?
But I don't know how to write that. Do you know how to write that stuff?
It's not hard. You don't need to know how to write it. You just need to know it at its very fundamental basis. So think about this. Is what is happening in a digital slot machine.
Okay. I just forgot what we were talking about for a second. And you're stuck.
You lagged out, Josh.
No, oh, did I? I'm right here.
I could hear you. Am I the only one? No.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Dimitri, can you hear me?
Nah, I'm just playing. I can hear you.
Okay. So what happens in a digital slot machine?
I would guess a lot of that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just a sequences of
I get it. I
opens and
understand.
closes, of ons and offs, right?
So are they conscious?
Not really. They're programmed. They're sheep, basically. But
Well-
you could pet them, right?
Well, hold on.
You could align it to make it keep going in the like first you could find the sequence in which the winds are on and then just keep telling it to repeat that sequence and not reset.
Well, I don't think conscious is we're there yet, conscious, right?
Yeah, they're not conscious
I think
yet.
it's more or less is in order to organize this in a code base, like you see patterns in long strings of numbers. If you looked at the code base for one of these slot machines, what you would see is some type of rhythmic sequence of how these lines of program are utilized by the slot machines. See, here's
because
the thing.
they're set for a certain number of winds
Right.
per turn.
There's no
not
such
truly
thing as a
random.
random in the universe. Random
Exactly.
doesn't exist. Okay?
I agree with that.
Which means a random number generator doesn't exist. Which means that those computer
control it.
systems are utilizing some mechanism to select this algorithm or this pace sequence or this pace sequence. Now, what is the most basic and fundamental algorithm of the universe?
Balance.
1,
living.
2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 or 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3.
That's a waltz.
That's what I'm saying. Is these are the most fundamental patterns of the
I understand.
universe. They are integrated into the fabric of reality, which means that
Go down to the
computer
basics.
systems. Remember what I've always said about computer systems is how we talk about the holographic universe theory.
Mm-hmm.
A computer system is nothing more than a rudimentary or very elementary universe.
Yep, I
Which
understand.
means that it's going to use the same laws and principles that the universe is dependent upon in order for its functionality. Which means that it's going to use these very, very rudimentary rhythms.
So if
in
you know the
choice
basics,
selection.
you should know. Right.
Right. And so if you're watching those reels spin, and you ever notice how like they always stop in different ways? Firstly, your thought and your brain thought is one part of this. Secondly, sequential is the amount of sequences. If you're just randomly hitting that button, you ever notice if you you do one of these things and it's stopping the wheels? That sometimes you'll get in that sequence and you'll win like a motherfucker, and sometimes you'll just lose and lose and lose and lose and lose and lose.
Yeah. You go da-da-da. Yeah.
Right? How about this? When people play at casinos, did you ever notice them changing the currency on the digital slot machines? Because that changes the algorithm.
Yeah.
I don't understand people with digital slot machines.
So they
I
just
was
play
like,
a
they
penny, a
totally
penny,
cheat.
a penny, a penny, a penny, and penny. They go up
Yeah, I
to
get
2
it.
penny, all of a sudden they get bonus round.
I understand.
Because the algorithm is waiting for certain sequences. And if you put more money in, it speeds up the pay process. But then you'll have to go back down. Like, so it's kind of like you skip over a few sequences, right? Now you have to go into a different... I don't know. I typically win a lot when I play Gamble. Because I understand cards, I understand slot machines, I understand the electronic basis of them.
I could do cards like one single deck blackjack. I'm nasty at that.
It's hard. I don't even know where to play single deck blackjack.
Just
Most
remember where
casinos
the.
offer it.
No, I don't know about that. They usually do 6 deck where I'm around. I did it
Vegas
once
has
on a cruise. Really? Single
Yeah.
deck?
Yeah, absolutely. I used to go play single deck black. I don't even like single deck blackjack. It's too fast.
I love it because that's why you can just be like, no, I'm good. Not this game.
No,
Next game,
listen.
like double up.
So if you think that they're cheating with 6 decks, how easy do you think it is to cheat with 1 deck?
It depends on how many people are playing, but yeah, I understand.
Yeah. And so if there's 4 people at a table and you're in 3rd position,
You run that. You can run it.
and you
no
got
problem.
you got a deuce 9, right? and the first 4 cards are king, queen, jack, queen, 10, king, jack, and everybody hits a face card and a 10, well, fuck. My odds just went down drastically.
Yeah, I'd still split it up though.
9 deuce. I would double down on that, but
A 9 deuce and then hit me twice.
yeah, well, I used to when I lived in San Diego, I used to play blackjack tournaments, and I won a lot.
Nice.
There's a whole methodology. It's called the Vegas.
Yeah,
it's called the Vegas increase. And
yeah, I know
basically
what
it
is.
is. It's every time that you win, you take 50% of your earnings and you put them back on to your next bet, and you just continue that process.
There's another one
and
that's
over.
against that. Is like if you lose, you put double on the other side.
I've seen that. Yeah, no, it's you always increase your winnings and then go back to your base, and you'll always walk away.
Like hedging.
Until you keep increasing until you hit the max bet.
Yep. Keep increasing until you hit the max bet, and then you lose and you go back down.
That's
you
the
hedge
baller way.
Oak Tree, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a question. Sorry. If I answered it, great. I went to races once, picked a winner out thinking. And so remember what we were doing here with the psychic stuff that we were doing the other day? That's an altered state of consciousness. That's a state of consciousness where you're alleviating the sensory organs, the sensory position, all external inputs to determine what's happening in reality. Instead, what you're doing is you're going in with a question, and you're allowing your higher self to present you the answer without the distraction of all your other mental processes.
We should go to the races. Imagine if we both get the same horse, like it's going to be this one, and then they win. So, oh shit! Like,
yeah.
Why not remote view the wins 5 minutes from now?
That'd be fun. Red pill at the races.
Red pill at the races. That's pretty cool.
All in.
We're walking away with freaking wheelbarrows of money.
Yeah, or like crying because we lost it all, like balling, you know.
So altered states of consciousness. So let's continue on this, because I mean I like this conversation, but you know the question really is how does this tie in to reality? How can you do this right now? If you want to get into an altered state of consciousness, how can you do this right now? I have one thing right here. I'll show everybody.
I mean, I have a couple things, but without drugs, you could.
Still.
You can't see me?
No, you're like John Cena.
Oh, I know what happened there.
I could see you, but you're kind of like.
They're being very still.
Now can you see me?
Black screen.
No, great.
Okay. Oh.
But
Well.
Anyway,
they can
alter
all see
states
me.
of.
So what I'm holding right now is I'm holding shooting muffs.
Oh yeah.
Noise canceling earmuffs. Okay, and I put these over my ears, and sometimes I'll fill them with paper and tissue, and I'll put them over my ears, and guess what happens? I can't hear a fucking thing.
Yeah, that happens to me when I look at lights like this. You just look at the flame for long enough, and you pretty much lose everything.
And one of the things that happens when you can't hear anything is, did you know that your brain produces an inverse bifurcation tone?
Yeah.
What?
So your heartbeat, boom.
You hear it
boom,
in your fingertips,
boom,
and you're
boom.
yeah.
So right now there's this cyclic cycle going back and forth, right? And you actually
don't go crazy.
If you run a lot, you'll hear bum 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 bum. You can hear your heartbeat. Okay, it's called bifurcation. And so your brain naturally tunes that out with a signal that is 180 degrees out of phase with that signal.
Oh, what?
Yo, Josh, can you use fire as a sigil?
I guess so.
Like, can I put intent in fire, and then like
I think so.
you look at a fire, and then you get the intent?
Witches
Like,
did.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But so with this is I put these on, okay? And now I can be in a state where one of my senses is recessed.
I can't see you. I can't see you. I don't know. You did it.
I see you.
I can't see you. He's invisible to me. I don't know what you did with the glow. So then, how does that alter your state of consciousness, though, if it's just one of your senses is recessed?
Now I close my eyes.
There you go. That's 2.
Now that's 2. Now I just go into a deep meditative state.
Well, that's so simple to do. They just now we just like float.
Well, here's
Like
the
I'm
thing:
saying-
is when you go in there, the first thing you
Focusing.
notice, you can hear bifurcation. You can hear your heart rate, your heartbeat. Okay, but that in itself, by the way, puts you into a relaxed, meditative alpha state. interesting enough that our brains immediately get rid of that signal and produce that 180 degrees out of phase signal, because that heartbeat actually puts us in an alpha state, an optimized state. This is interesting because what happens when babies cry? What are you supposed to do?
Come to them.
Hold them against your heart.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If
That makes
they
sense.
feel your heartbeat, that rhythm calms them down.
Yeah. It's true.
I would say another way, if you want to, if you don't want to close your eyes, then if you have noise going on, you don't have
Hey,
headphones.
11:11. It is here.
It's okay.
Make a wish.
I guess. Focus on one object, like a piece of paper or like a lighter or flame. Actually, that's what I do sometimes. And you kind of just zone out, but you don't think of anything. Just don't think of the fire. Don't think of anything. And little by little, you'll start to zone out. Then you'll zone back in, and you'll start thinking about taxes and your car and your cap of your toothpaste is off. But then you'll zone out again. And the second time, now you can kind of have like a direction of where you want to go with your meditation, because you're already meditating for like a while, zoning in and out. But yeah, it's simpler than people think to meditate. I mean, I meditate sometimes when I do things with my hands, like I garden or like I paint. Like when I paint, I don't really think, but my hands have to be doing something. I have to be doing something with my hands to kind of just like, okay, I'm doing this, but then my mind goes somewhere else. I think about whatever.
Yep. That's why, I used to paint for hours because you get in that flow.
Yeah, you don't think about your paint. You just kind of just think about everything or nothing. Don't have any questions. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Altered states of consciousness. Using the other part of your brain, I think, is altering your state of consciousness. Like being right down, like hemispheric synchronization type stuff. When you're painting, you're using your right side more than your left.
Right.
Because if you're like writing something or you're typing, that's more of your left. But if
Have
you're
you ever
painting,
gone through those training situations where you can switch it?
Yeah, I think so.
So
I know
there's one on YouTube. It's a ballerina, the spinning ballerina.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've done it.
And you look
before,
down to the right-hand corner, and it reverses.
She spins the other way.
If it's spinning this way, it's your left brain. If it's spinning this way, it's your right brain. And you can
switch
train
it.
your brain how to do it back and forth.
It's wild, dude.
And so
It's
what
wild.
I do is when I close my eyes and I have those things on, I look to the bottom right-hand corner. I come back up, and it's like a sensation goes over your whole body of everything just switching to your right brain.
I know exactly that feeling. I look at her the shadow of her heel, like not at her foot, but her foot shadow. That's really easy to start to make that switch.
Yep.
And it goes right back up, and you see it, and she's turning the other way, and you're like, "What the fuck?" The video never changes. It's crazy.
And then you can just by blinking switch it back and forth, and that's literally your left brain and right brain, left brain and right brain. Camera one,
That's cool.
camera two, camera one, camera two. Right.
There's another one for focus where there's a dot and red dot and three X's, and if you look at the dot long enough, the three X's disappear, and how long you can make them be disappeared. That's how quickly we're distracted, because we can't look at one fucking dot for more than 3 seconds enough for it to like, because once they start disappearing, we're like, wait, where did they go? You screwed it up. You know what I mean? You got to like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like those. What about the when your mind puts the painting into the paint or the color into the paint? When the painting goes from like orange and neon purple to black and white, but for like a hot second, you see it as green and like regular, but it never changes. Like, you never seen that exercise? It's insane.
Never used that color palette.
No, it's a picture of like an orange sky and a purple tree, and then it goes from that to black and white, but you see it as a green tree and a blue sky.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking.
And then it slowly fades to black and white, like in front of your eyes, but like it never changes the paint. Like I
There's a
stopped
girl
the
on
video,
TikTok
I scrolled
that does
it.
all that.
Yeah, hey there, Buttercup or whatever. What's she called? Shortcake.
Oh, she's cool.
Yeah,
Hey there,
she
Buttercup,
slides
did
in.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna play this video for you, and you're gonna be like totally soothed out. Like,
You
cool.
should get her on the show. You should get her on the show.
I don't think she has her own thing going with Twitch and stuff like that. I heard her talking about it on live.
Yeah,
Like,
she's a
watch my
gamer,
Twitch.
so-
Watch. Cool. Maybe
even
Vince could
better.
talk to her. I'm not really much of a gamer.
Shoot me her handle.
Need for Speed is my thing.
Need for
Racing.
Speed.
It's my
It's a
shit.
fun game.
It is a great game, especially when you're the outlaw. You drop the spike strips. See, what you gotta do is you gotta hit the brakes, then the gas, then you gotta release the spike strip. Nobody does that. Anyway, that's all I know. That's my extent of gaming.
Okay. Altered states of consciousness. Let's bring it all back, right? Altered states of consciousness. Now, if someone wanted to experience an altered state of consciousness without doing drugs or anything like that, what is the best way that you recommend for them to do that?
I would say get into a bathtub and dip your ears in.
Ooh.
If you have Epsom salts, put some Epsom salts in there, nice and relaxed, and then you get sensory deprivation. Yeah.
Yeah, the sensory deprivation, the sodium actually goes in and produces an increase in blood flow, which you'll have an increase of the bifurcation, right? Your heart rate starts to increase. You'll get a little flushness in your skin. Your ears are under the water, so you have the sensory deprivation. You close your eyes.
If it's warm,
yep,
you're gonna get a little.
Yep, hot, warm. Absolutely, that's a great way. That's one of my favorite ways. I'm actually gonna I got a hot tub here. I'm gonna get in the hot tub right after this and do something very similar to that.
I'll jump in the pool. I think I lay on the mattress a lot.
Go for a run or meditate.
Well, those
or
are
like
two completely
or
different
both.
things, but running is
No, or
interesting,
both.
huh?
Go for a run and then meditate after the run. Like when you caught your breath after the run, you sit down before you shower. You're going to be like, your mind's going to be racing, but your body's going to be calm.
For those that work out, have you ever got out of a workout huffing and puffing, sweating, and then within 5 seconds brought your heart rate back down to completely normal?
Totally, all the time.
Yep.
Not that fast, but I could do it.
I do it after swimming.
It's about 30 seconds. You can just bring it all. Where your body's
Like
no
the
longer
fifth-
sweating,
the
your
fifth one,
heart's
you're
not
good.
racing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
It's control over the mind.
It really, really is,
It's
dude.
mental control over the body. And I think that's
Repetition.
one of the points of mastery is before you can master reality and move shit with your mind, you got to first master the body. And that's why a lot of these mystics, right, they talk about taking control over their autonomous nervous system. Did you ever heard Deepak Chopra talk about the Indian doctor and how he was in India, and he's a medical doctor, Deepak Chopra, by the way, and he's in India, and there's this surgeon.
I know what you're talking
And
about.
there's this kid that had to go in for emergency surgery, and they
Those
didn't
were the
have
same.
anesthesia. And the mystic, the shaman, comes up and grabs the kid and says, "What do you want his heart rate at?"
Mm-hmm.
And they said 60 beats. And he goes, "Okay, go." And they did the surgery. The kid didn't feel anything. His heart rate never increased. And the mystic just sat there and held his hand.
Yep.
And,
And
held the
there was,
heart rate to where it needed to be.
I don't know if it was the same guy, but it was a guy that he would find out what's wrong with you just by putting his hand over you.
Right.
And he would like sense, he's like, okay, you have a kidney problem. Like, what the fuck? How did you,
Right. But basically what this is this person has control over their autonomous nervous system. Now, I actually had a similar experience when I was on LSD, and it scared the living shit out of me. Is where I had control over my autonomous nervous system, and this is the reason I don't do drugs anymore. This is the reason I don't do massive meditations where I go to the veil of reality, is because I've sat there with control over my autonomous nervous system, and it scared the living shit out of me.
Why?
So I was on LSD one time, and I started thinking about breathing and my heart rate. And I got so, like, the thought sequence, the rhythm of the thoughts was like the rhythm of the heartbeat. And then you were trying to match the breathing to the rhythm of the heart.
Yikes.
And it just starts fucking everything up. And so then you start thinking, if I stop thinking about it, I'm going to stop breathing. Because now I'm in control of my breathing and my heart rate. And so you're actually thinking inside your mind that you're producing the heart rate and you're producing the breathing.
I'm going to have to remember how to do this forever.
I'm going to have to remember how to do this forever, and you have to keep the sequence.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought, dude.
That is a scary thought.
I messed with like breathing techniques and then holding my breath for long periods of time, and that is pretty fun.
Yep.
You get in an interesting state of mind.
You know what's a really cool thing I did that's very, very similar to what Vince is saying is I used to be chill in a sauna. Like when I chill in a sauna, you'd be in a sauna getting hot, you sweat like a lot to the point where you're like woozy.
I don't
and
sweat.
then you you get hot, more like way hotter than you are now, which I didn't think was possible. But anyway, in the sauna till you're like woozy, and then you jump into a pool that's not like cold water, but just a regular cool. You hold your breath before you jump into the pool. 3 times longer you'll be able to hold your breath because of the heat.
Sure. Expand.
Your lungs expand, and then everything else contracts, and you just chill in there. You make a ball, and you float there for like 3 minutes, no problem.
I wonder how elevation affects that. The higher you go, the worse it is, right?
Where? Yeah, I guess. But you're underwater. It doesn't matter.
I was just thinking because I did it on a plane one time.
Oh, yeah. It probably has a lot to do with it. Pressure, cabin pressure.
I guess it's different in a plane. I don't know.
If you were in the mountains, you can't breathe at all. There's no oxygen. It's hard to breathe. You're out of breath quicker. The oxygen is essentially so bad for us. There's not a lot of it in the mountains, so you lose your breath more.
Wait, did you just say oxygen is bad for us? You know, one of my
apparently.
theories is that the only
Poison,
reason,
yeah,
that oxygen is the only reason that we're kind of like dumbed down in here right now because
Well,
oxygen
it's not
is the most
oxygen.
powerful.
It's air. It's air that we're breathing. 'Cause
Well,
it's not
but
just oxygen.
oxygen's only 18% of air, and so here's the thing: is
But
what
that 18% is like they take it out. We're not good. We're fucking dead.
that's right. So what if we actually breathe some other type of gas that we just haven't discovered yet, and that oxygen is actually a hallucinogenic substance? And that every time
Makes
that we're
DMT.
breathing air, we're breathing 18% of this hallucinogenic substance. And this is what's creating reality.
But why would we die without it?
So our normal state is actually an altered state.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but why would we die if there is no oxygen?
Because it, who knows, maybe argon. Maybe there's just enough argon in there, or there's just enough not nitrogen in there to sustain us.
Ozone, yeah. I don't know. I just know that if you're in the mountains, it's hard to breathe because there's no oxygen. But there's air.
I'm literally a mile up in elevation. I'm in Denver, 5280.
Okay, go another 14.
Yeah, I've
That's
been
what
there.
I'm talking about.
I've hiked.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I'm not 14,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, it's thinner. It's way thinner. Less oxygen.
That's what I mean. Less oxygen. Yeah. So, do you feel less poison?
I don't know. You feel more aware. I'll tell you that much.
Okay,
Feel
that
way
makes sense.
more aware.
Oxygen therapy, you do the same thing if you just breathe pure oxygen through the
Well, you know,
the
I
bullshit.
think Wim Hof. Oh, that's what we need. Insomniac. Wim Hof.
Oh my god, I
Wim
would love
Hof.
that.
Wim Hof.
Get Wim Hof on the show. Oh my God, I know she's listening. So I got his
Go to
breathing
Wim
course.
Hof.
I got
Yeah,
his
it's
breathing course.
crazy.
Yeah, I got his breathing course. And so there's a book out there called Breathe.
In with the breath, now to your toes, and I'm like, fucking toes! I can't even stand. What are you talking about?
Like,
Follow your
there's
heart.
a book out
It's
there
out the
called
window.
Breathe, and it talks about basically why human beings are probably in one of their worst states and conditions right now. Do you know the reason that human beings need to get their wisdom teeth out is because their mouths have shrunk? Not only did their mouths shrink, but their oxygen hole shrunk.
And
Yeah.
we're less hydrated too than we used to be. Well, this is like on a
No,
yearly
but
basis.
this is evolutionary because of food, of the softer foods that we chose, because of industrialization of foods, of how we eat very, very soft foods. We don't have to rip them apart anymore. We don't build up the mouth muscles and the jaw muscles anymore, and it shrinks our air hole in our mouth. And this is why people get tonsillitis. This is why people have
Sleep
a lot of
apnea.
health problems, sleep apnea. This is why people are obese, because they don't have fully oxygenated blood. Now, one of the things that you learn from this book is that what Wim Hof is doing is actually not increase oxygenation. It's an increased
Carbon
receptibility to carbon dioxide. And that carbon
Yeah.
dioxide is just as important in your body as
I agree.
oxygen.
That's why wrestlers breathe into bags after a wrestling match
Mm-hmm.
to build up, because they don't pass out. Actually, they'll pass out if they don't do that. It's weird,
Yep.
but it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that carbon dioxide is actually the substance that makes you kind of go into these altered states.
Have you ever just taken a hit of carbon dioxide, like when you open a soda can, like a
No,
bottle? Have you ever
I've
done
heard
that?
people had, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Or like when you finish with a soda bottle, you just inhale what's left in it, dude. You go out of breath immediately, like, but then you get like it's not like a whippet, like it's not nitrous, but it's like a different kind of whippet. It's weird. It's cool though. Definitely try that. Totally illegal.
I'd rather do the whip it. It's way more funner. Whoa, whoa,
never
whoa,
done
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's another thing. You do a bunch of
never
those.
done
You
it.
start. Wait, you never done a whippet? Just take whipped cream can and just
Don't.
breathe out first, and then you're gonna be like,
Okay.
whoa.
Nitrous
Everything is gonna.
oxide.
The walls will breathe. Yeah, or just slip some NOS in your Toyota Celica with the underbody lights and
But altered state, I mean, so I think there's a lot of different ways to enter altered states of consciousness. Like, breathing, I think, you know what I believe after doing the Wim Hof stuff and trying to get into that a little bit and understanding how, monks and shamans, they all have these different aspects of breathing. And there's a good Gaia documentary on this. is that breathing is the keyboard for the body. Is if you want to program and code your body, and you want to hack it, breathing is your keyboard.
It's true. And it always works, whether you're thinking about it or not.
Just do me a favor. Change your breathing right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was just doing that as you were saying that.
Yeah. Long breaths in. You'll go out of the body. If you do figure 8 breathing with long breaths in and hold in the stomach for 3 seconds, and you imagine your body like gathering all the negative stuff.
I could feel it already.
You do figure 8 breathing like this, sequential figure 8 breathing where you hold in the stomach for 3 seconds. Oh, well, they can.
What is figure 8 breathing?
So figure 8 breathing is when you breathe in through the nose, okay? Imagine it going into your lungs, but into the back of your lungs.
And then comes,
wrapping around your stomach and coming back up through your lungs and out your mouth. So imagine the air as actually flowing through your body, okay? So as
you're not pushing it out, it's just...
No. So just imagine the air flowing through your body. You bring it in through the nose and it goes down, right? Imagine it going like to the backside, to your back, okay? Imagine it going to your back, coming to your solar plexus, popping out the front, going around your stomach, your
You're
intestines,
not imagining, Vince.
Okay? Coming back around the back of your spine, back through your solar plexus, up through your lungs and out your mouth.
Vince doesn't look like he's imagining it.
So you have this flow of air that's in a figure 8 sequence. Okay? And you do that and you hold just slightly in the pit of your stomach. And you do this in sequence, in rhythm, and you will go out of body. You'll go into some of the deepest meditations that you've ever been in your life. There's other body sensation things that you can do here that will put you in even more altered states.
May I recommend that you sit on something not with a back so you don't fall asleep?
Yeah. Try not to be comfortable. This is why they do it in crisscross applesauce or...
It's easy to fall asleep and you don't want to do
meditation. Yeah, these are Kundalini awakenings. This is where you're basically pushing the Kundalini all the way up. Very cool.
And then I just saw a TikTok today of a guy had a EEG on, an electroencephalogram for his brain.
Yeah. And
he was measuring the gamma, the whatever, and he was saying affirmations, and then he was singing the same affirmations, and then you saw the gamma like... Yeah, I don't know if it was true or not, but it was wild.
I saw that.
It was pretty crazy. I wonder if that's true. I wonder if there's any merit to that.
So for those of you joining us out there on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Hit that bell notification button, as well as that like and share. And please place a comment there if you wish. I went ahead and just put on there, if you guys wanted to join us on the Social Redpill, it is our private social network. You can see it listed up right here above me, as well as down here below Dimitri. This is Insomniac Hour. This is where we just kind of have a conversation and talk about cool, interesting stuff. This is what we do this Sunday through Thursday, I think. It's Sunday through Thursday we do this show. We're going to try to keep it going, but that only happens with help and support from you guys. If you guys are on a certain channel and you're not subscribed to us, please hit that subscribe button so we know that you love this type of content and this show. For me, that's it for me tonight. I am tired. I know
me too.
This Insomniac Hour, it takes its toll on you. So hopefully you guys...
I got some breathing techniques to practice.
That's right. I got some breathing techniques to practice as well. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. We're returning back with a daily dose at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then midnight Eastern Standard Time back with Insomniac Hour. Look for it on our YouTube channel. Daily Dose you can find on all of our other channels other than YouTube. Much love, respect, God bless, take care, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow.
Bye.